and the countries that were referred to in the media reporting are, at this stage, only possibilities. There have been no formal decisions taken on whether the pilot scheme will go ahead, and if so, in what form. If it does go ahead, and if it includes Nigeria, both of which are ifs, it will not start until much later this year, and it will involve a very small number of visa applicants who are considered to be high risk based either on their previous behaviour after getting a visa to go to the UK, or because of the profile they have presented when they have made their visa application.
In other news, Ogun State civil servants have been asked to step up in their attitude to work ethics, especially in the discharge of government policies and programs in order to fulfill the aspiration of the state's founding fathers. This was the focus of a public lecture titled Enhancing Accountability, Transparency and Integrity, held in Abeokuta, the state capital, as part of the activities marking the 2013 Civil Service Day celebration.
The Honourable Commissioner for Commerce and Industry.
The civil service the world over remains the engine room for effective implementation of government policies and programs. As the intermediary between the people and government at all levels, the civil service must discharge its responsibilities with integrity.
There is a need for us to sustain the enviable standard of professionalism bequeathed on us by the founding fathers of Ogun State Public Service. Most of them are seated here too. In addition to this, we must also ensure that we improve on the level of standard we inherited. This we must do by ensuring efficiency, effectiveness, professionalism, and dedication to duty at all times.
The issue of accountability, transparency, integrity, and creativity were brought to the fore by resource persons at the occasion.
It is you, it is me. So we need to take account of our personal actions. Never before have personal actions or inactions been subject to so much scrutiny. The scrutiny is fast and it's unforgiving. And the raft of regulation and legislation governing the public sector is all pushing us towards accountability.
The state governor, represented by the State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, used the occasion to announce some welfare packages planned for the state workforce by the government.
We have put in place some additional welfare packages for our teeming civil servants, such as funds for car loan, construction of low-cost housing for civil servants, which is evident in the recent approval by the State House of Assembly to the government to access 2 billion naira from the Federal Mortgage Bank.
It is said that where much is given, much is required. So it came as no surprise when the state government seized the opportunity to demand more cooperation and dedication to duties from the workers.
When your strike returns, the CBN's cashless policy kicks off in 5 more states and the Federal Capital Territory.
And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Barack Obama rounds off his 3-nation African tour in Tanzania.
Just stay with us.
Every day you invite us to your home. Now we invite you to our homepage. Join Channels TV on social media. Hang out with us on Google Plus/Channels Television. Follow us on Twitter.com/Channels TV_NG. Friend us on Facebook.com/Channels Forum. And don't forget to like our page. That's not all. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, youtube.com/Channels Web, to get post and video updates on news and events in Nigeria and around the world. ChannelsTV.com, the news at your fingertips.
On business news, the CBN's cashless policy program has kicked off in the Federal Capital Territory, Kano, Anambra, Abia, Rivers and Ogun states. Now this comes as the House of Representatives last week asked the central bank to implement the policy in phases and remove charges or limits on daily withdrawals as well as deposits to encourage small businesses. Now, owing to challenges ranging from poor ICT infrastructure to network issues, the central bank says the project will focus on key commercial and urban centers of Onitsha, Kano, Port Harcourt, Abuja and Aba.
The cashless policy was introduced in Lagos in January last year with specific limits and charges for individuals or corporate organizations that want to withdraw or lodge cash above prescribed limits. Under the policy, the CBN pegged the daily cumulative cash withdrawal or deposit limit for individual accounts at 500,000 naira per day and 3 million naira per day for corporate accounts. Meanwhile, the Apex Bank is going to meanwhile, over 143.8 billion naira is expected to mature this week when the central bank sells treasury bills on Thursday at the open market operation window. Data from the Financial Market Dealers Association shows the bills to be sold include the 92, 121 and 133-day bills. The bills will be sold at 7.25, 40.99 and 95.61 billion naira each. According to the report, the bills are expected to yield interests of between 10.24 and 11.70% on maturity. Nigerian equities market began the week in the south today as market breadth remains weak amid moderate patronage. The NSE All-Share Index shed weight further this time by 0.91% to drop below the 36,000 psychological line. It finished the day's trade at 35,832 points. Transcorp, with over 176.4 million units exchanged, was the most traded equity. It was followed by Guarantee Trust Bank and Wema Bank. With a percentage gain of 10%, UTC leads other gainers, including ABC Transport, AG11 TIS, and Eternal Oil and Gas. CAP shared the maximum 10% as investors chopped off 5 naira 39 kobo from its share price. The equity closed at 48 naira 52 kobo. When stocks hit the finish line at 315.7 million units had been exchanged in over 4,000 deals valued at 1.92 billion naira.
On the foreign scene, U.S. President Barack Obama is in Tanzania's largest city, Dar es Salaam, on the last leg of his 9-day African tour. He is accompanied by his wife, Michelle, and their 2 daughters, Malia and Sasha. Tanzania is the last country Mr. Obama will be visiting in his 3-nation tour, having left South Africa some hours ago.
While in the country, Mr. Obama will launch a trade partnership with Africa, initially focused on the eastern countries of Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. The program is designed to assist those countries trade with each other and then with the United States. Is also scheduled to sign an executive order aimed at combating the wildlife trafficking in Africa. He'll be meeting with Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete and later with business leaders from the U.S. and Africa to talk about increasing trade in East Africa before ending the evening with a dinner hosted by the Tanzanian president.
In the northern part of the continent, huge protests across Egypt calling for the resignation of President Mohamed Morsi have taken place through Sunday night, with some outbreaks of violence. In the capital, Cairo, tens of thousands of people gathered in Tahrir Square and outside the presidential palace in the biggest demonstration there since the 2011 revolution. At least one person was killed in clashes at Cairo's headquarters of Mr. Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood movement. 4 others died in clashes elsewhere. Millions of protesters across the country accused the country's first Islamist president of failing to tackle economic and security problems since taking power a year ago. Meanwhile, thousands of Mr. Morsi's supporters staged a rally in the Cairo suburb of Nasir City.